Coming up on First at 4, hospitals across the region are furloughing people during a pandemic. We'll talk to the CEO of Pikeville Medical Center about it. And federal disaster funding is headed to counties hit hard by flooding in February.
And a few stray rain chances are possible tomorrow, but sunshine continues as well. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, across the state we are seeing hospitals furloughing their employees during this coronavirus pandemic. WYMT's Madison Pergram has more on the furloughs at Pikeville Medical Center.
Here at Pikeville Medical Center, it was announced on Friday they would be furloughing some of their employees. Officials with the hospital say right now nearly 280 employees are furloughed. That includes the furloughs from Friday and people requested to be furloughed in weeks prior with concerns surrounding coronavirus. Donovan Blackburn, CEO of Pikeville Medical Center, says these employees are still receiving benefits during this time and will be asked to come back as soon as possible.
A layoff, you have to separate their employment. You send them home and they're not employed, and then if you want to call them back, you can, but you don't have to. A furlough is they're still on your payroll, you send them home, and you call them back as you need them, but they don't lose their health benefits, they don't lose their vacation pay, they don't lose their sick pay.
Blackburn says he does expect some of those furloughed employees to return to work by next week. In Pikeville, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, officials with the hospital say that the majority of furloughed employees are those that do not have direct contact with patients. The U.S. is nearing 1 million cases of the coronavirus, and it comes as more states assess plans to reopen their economies. More than 55,000 people have died from COVID-19 nationwide. At least 12 states, including Georgia, Arkansas, and Tennessee, are easing restrictions on non-essential businesses. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention added new COVID-19 symptoms to watch out for, including chills, muscle pain, and a sore throat. Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky in Hazard is having drive-through COVID-19 testing today. Originally, they planned to have testing only today and tomorrow, but they were contacted by the governor's office and were asked to have it all week long. These tests are available to anyone, and you are required to bring an insurance card and photo ID. We talked with a nurse practitioner today about why these tests are so important.
Part of the reason that we're opening up the testing is to see how broad that it could be in our area. There may be people that are asymptomatic, and so the way to help decrease the spread of the COVID-19 is if we find someone that is asymptomatic, we can trace those and hopefully prevent that from spreading to someone who may have more severe symptoms.
It is important to know that you are not billed for your COVID-19 test. Your insurance is only needed for the lab portion of the test. Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky testing will be from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. at the Hazard location. Staff can test up to 150 people per day. They are also working to bring antibody testing to our area, but the test still requires FDA approval. The antibody test will provide same-day results in 15 minutes.
It was a gorgeous day here in the mountains after a gloomy and rainy and a little bit of a chilly weekend. We're finally seeing that sunshine across our area. Interstate 75 shows those clouds, and it was definitely a little bit on the foggy side earlier this morning, but we have seen that beautiful sunshine throughout the day. And you can see those blue skies over into Jackson with just a few stray clouds, 63 degrees, so feeling good out there. A little chilly, but feeling really good, especially in that sunshine. A lot of us into those lower 60s, some even close to the mid 60s, down into Jacksboro, Middlesboro at 64, 63 in Hazard, 62 in London, a little bit cooler in Wise at 57 degrees. As we head into tonight, we are going to start to bring back some clouds. However, we are still going to enjoy the sunshine as we head into the evening hours. It's not until a little bit later tonight we see those clouds start to increase, and we are going to bring back just a few stray rain chances heading into tomorrow. We will still see that sunshine, but a cold front does move in Wednesday and Thursday, bringing more showers and storms back into the mountains. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Paige. A disaster declaration was approved last week in Washington to help much of eastern Kentucky. This comes after February's widespread flooding throughout the state. Parts of eastern Kentucky saw the highest river levels in decades. WYMT's Connor James breaks down who specifically gets that money and what it goes to.
Yeah, now that public assistance will go to places like here in Harlan County, where they saw that widespread flooding in several communities in February. Now, there's a difference between individual and public assistance, though. The individual assistance, for example, is still under review by the federal government. That would go to homes or people who had property damaged by those floodwaters. Now, the public assistance, on the other hand, which was approved, would go to the county and other agencies that work to repair mudslides or damaged roads caused because of that flooding. How it works is they would get somewhat reimbursed. About 85 to 90% of the money they spent to repair slides and broken roads would be reimbursed by the federal government. Now, Harlan County's Judge Executive Dan Mosley says he's thankful this funding came when it did.
One of our slides that we had is going to be pretty expensive, so that's going to really help us on one of our county roads. The other slide is more of a smaller slide. It probably won't cost as much, but really in this time with all that's going on with COVID-19 and the declining revenues governments are experiencing, any help is greatly appreciated because it's going to be tough as we try to balance the budget moving forward.
Now, on the individual assistance level, like we said, it is still under review, but hopefully if that does get approved, that would be able to go to roughly 50 to 70 people that are in this county that did receive damage to their homes from that widespread flooding. I'm in Harlan County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Counties not covered by the public funds can apply for assistance through the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. Deputies with the Johnson County Sheriff's Office are searching for a missing 13-year-old girl. This is Allison Honeycutt. She was last seen last night leaving her house in Sitka. She was wearing a black hoodie and green shirt. She's 5 feet 3 inches tall, 230 pounds, and has brownish hair. Deputies do not know if she is alone or with someone else. If you have any information on Honeycutt, you should call the Sheriff's Office at 606-789-3411. A man is dead and another injured in West Virginia after a heavy equipment trailer trapped them. It happened at the Dunn Excavating Company in Kanawha County. Police say the two men were working on the trailer when it fell on them. One man died at the scene and another was taken to the hospital. The condition of that man is not yet known. A woman in Johnson City, Tennessee is facing drug charges after police say they found more than 70 grams of meth in her car. It started as a call of two people passed out inside a vehicle in a Walgreens parking lot. Then when police officers arrived, they say they found Casey Pierce in her car with 74 grams of meth. Officers searched the car and found Suboxone pills along with drug paraphernalia. Pierce is charged with possession of meth, casual exchange, and unlawful drug paraphernalia. A victory for supporters of gun regulation and a blow to Second Amendment advocates. The Supreme Court today sidestepped issuing a major ruling on a New York handgun law. The case concerns a New York City law that regulates where licensed handgun owners can carry a locked and unloaded handgun. The order marks a victory for supporters of gun regulations. The move by the nation's highest court marks a hit to Second Amendment advocates and the Trump administration, who hope the conservative majority of the court would expand gun rights as early as this term. Is North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un alive or dead? The communist leader has been missing from the public eye for 2 weeks. His absence led to rumors of his death. Now, it may not be proof of life, but today North Korean state TV relayed a message from Kim thanking workers building a resort. President Donald Trump also weighed in on Kim's death rumors.
I think the report was incorrect. Let me just put it there.
Recent satellite images appear to show Kim's train at his compound on the country's east coast, suggesting he could be there. But if Kim is dead, do not expect the kingdom to announce his death until the country's top leadership figures out who is in charge. So stay tuned. Coming up on First at 4, be sure to grab the tissues for this next story. A man writes his final love letter to his wife days before he dies from COVID-19.
Sunshine and warmer temperatures continue tomorrow with the possibility of a few rain chances. I'll have your forecast coming up.